Yeah, I had my philosophy meeting again last night. I say mine, I mean the one I go to. I think there were 15 of us there. Do you know, I found out from some time back that they've all got houses except Maashll. Maashll had wives instead. Very costly. Actually, it wasn't. I started far better off than anyone there, especially relative to society then in England where I was. I say I started that way, but only theoretically, in that I was the son of very well off father, you see. But I chose Mum. My loyalty was to Mum. Rightly or wrongly? Well, I think rightly, by the grace of God. But I'd rather have loved both parents, in hindsight. Still, Dad and I had our moments. A few and far between contact, but thank you, Lord. So, I learnt very early on that wealth was not the way. And I realised from Dad's point of view it should have been that beauty was not the way. However, God has blessed me with some, dare I say it in this fashion, casual, colloquial, but lovely women in my life. Mum's love, overwhelming. Falling in love. And having women love me too. Not all women. Especially older and matriarchal women. They didn't seem to take to me in quite the same way. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. But of course the real treasure I won was the one I was looking for. Personification. What was truly goodness, love and kindness, care, life, loveliness of life, fullness of life, beauty in its true sense, everlasting blossom. I can see a picture in my mind of a tree. Oh, I did take a photo of it. I wonder if I can use that for this recording. Just on my way back from dropping the kids off, 10 or 12k from home here, on the edge of town, the school, Rudolf Steiner. You know, my daily 2 trips, taking them and picking them back, picking them up, bringing them back. It's magnificent. Don't know if the picture does it credit. Let me pause and have a look at it, see if I can find it. Yes, found it. And as you can see, I used it, I hope, if I remember, for this recording. Perhaps if I start this recording, it will remind me. Well, he says to the younger, if you would enter into life, keep the principles of life. I do. All the social ones anyway. Okay. Well, if you would have treasure in heaven, come. Well, sell all you have, give to the poor. Come follow me. Poor chap couldn't do that. Well, Marshall did, early on. In his secular life, he did. Stepped away from his inheritance. He knew it. Not daft. I couldn't be disloyal to Mum. You see, I'm Scythian. She's Irish, she's red-headed, she's Norse. Oh, you think of the Irish as Celts, but not the red hair, mate. That's Norse. Is the Father Christmas hat red? I'm not daft. I knew I was doing the right thing. It was just... couldn't not be loyal to Mum. Yeah, given the story she'd given me of life. Totally biased, of course. Dad didn't have much to do with animals, but I think it had a ginger cat. Must have done somewhere in his life, because every cat we had was always ginger and always called Nobby, which was the, I don't know, 1940s name for Clark. Nobby Clark, you would be known as. I didn't want to be called Nobby. But again, you know, ginger, red. Yeah, interesting that. Did wonder what the obsession with Nobby was. We got through cats at an alarming rate because we lived on what was in those days quite a main road, cars going like it. And used to get cold winters. We'd find our cat frozen in the snow somewhere down the road. Yeah. Or hit by a car. I mean, the average life of our cats could be as low as, well, could be as low as 9 months, but I mean, typically it lasts a few years, and then we get another one, always ginger, always from the same vet, who always got stray cats being brought to him. Dad knew. We'd go off and get another cat. And I go with him. Yes, one of the trips that I did do with Dad. As and when such need arose. But to return to what I really wish to say, you would have true riches in heaven. You're not going to be attached to the material wealth. And I suppose I should have extended the wisdom to not being attached to the loveliness of the woman. But I was a young man, and I needed a partner. So we trusted all to God, and much blessing it was, much cost, but the cost drove me further into his arms. I mean, our Heavenly Dad. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. Well, that's my story put very simplistically. But I was not a simple person. I mean, the distress at home, the rift between Mum and Dad, the violence, not too much physical, but vocal, terrible. And the concern, stress, made me old long before my time. And relationship with Mum, close, strong, overwhelmingly strong. again, you see, had I have known then, I mean, to have thanked God for the difficulties would have been most wise. But I didn't have that wisdom then. I did have the wisdom about materialism. And I did, in a sense, have the wisdom about beauty, because I knew that a good-looking wife was not meeting Dad's needs. He needed a woman of integrity, as he saw it. And really, he'd married way below his class. At least she was extremely intelligent, which meant she was well able to play any part socially that he required. But she was fierce, she was Scythian too. Gosh, was she fierce. The female of the species is more deadly than the male. She'd have killed him given the opportunity. It was only the law that stopped. He'd have been poisoned or knifed in the night otherwise. He knew it too. Locked himself in his bedroom at night for safety. I mean, that's the reality of it. For years. Go in his room and lock the door. Wow. There was a series of cupboards through the eaves next to the bedrooms. You know, there's one of those houses where the upper floor is almost built into the roof in a way. Almost, not really. It's clearly a two-story building. And you could actually travel from, once they built the new extension, which was 50% of the house added, because he inherited his aunt's money at that point, I think. You could travel, you could crouch down and crawl into the eave cupboard, storage cupboard, and walk through and come out into either of the two bedrooms. But he knew she suffered from claustrophobia and no way would do that. It's a ridiculous childhood, I can tell you. I've told you, haven't I, about one night we were sitting in Mum's sewing room downstairs, and I could hear him making wheezing noises in bed, locked in his room at night, you know. He'd go to bed early, about 9 o'clock. I said, I'll go and see if he's all right. Is Dad all right? Oh, let him suffer. Oh dear. That was not my idea of loving Mum. I know it's her enemy, but I can't have him suffering. So, Maashll did the right thing. Went upstairs, knocked on the door. You all right, Dad? Oh yes, boy. Yes, I'm fine, thank you. And I knew I'd done the right thing. She knew I'd done the right thing too. She probably loved me for it more. But she hated him, and that's all there is to it. Yeah. Well, yes, as I say, I was matured in a worldly sense. In a wisdom sense, well, I don't know, not so worldly really. Long before my time. I remained secular, of course, because Mum was secular. I mean, 90%, you know. Then I was, as I say, in my mid-20s. But yes, if I had been really wise, I mean, I'd have realised, difficulties are a great blessing. made me a philosopher. I mean, absurdly so. At 17, I was reading Plato. 16. In the public library, reference library. Doing social sciences, politics, economics, law, accountancy, commerce. What was he doing reading Plato? Got nothing to do with those sort of modern then worldly subjects, social sciences, you know. Because he's a philosopher. Why is he a philosopher? Because of the difficulties of life, the contrast. I've been thrown into an astonishing classroom, hadn't I? By the grace of God. I picked up on it. You should see the picture of Mum holding me up as a very young child, visiting me probably from hospital. My eyebrows looked like an A-frame house roof, you know. This kid was so depressed. I'm not surprised. Didn't really have Mum until 5 years of age. Had cares for the world on him from the beginning. A childhood desperately concerned for Mum's welfare. And my own. Don't think I was a, paragon of virtue. I mean, my own welfare in the situation of risk as well. Yeah. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. Well, I'm not sure if this discourse is a great blessing to you. Perhaps I shouldn't publish it. It's very egocentric, isn't it? Goodness, this man loves himself. I blame my mother, not me. As Dad would say, can do no wrong, can he? Poor chap. I was a great cost to him, without realising it. But on the other hand, if he wanted Mum, he had to have Marshall in the end, like it or not. He disinherited me. He did get his own back in the end, I'm glad to say. For if he hadn't disinherited me, well, I might not have wasted my time with the battle of life. Spiritually, I mean. Philosophically, I meant then. I was seeking reality, truth, wisdom, and I knew it. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. Oh, and reviewing this recording, I realised at 15 minutes, I didn't mention the fact that, well, Mum was spiritual in a way, a sort of white witch, not too white at times, as you may have gathered. But she knew how to love. I mean, she knew how to hate too. I mean, it's a sort of balance in life, isn't it? Yes. I think she was often dwelling on how she could kill him legally, you know. But from her point of view, he deserved all he got. I mean, he was very Victorian. They were chalk and cheese, really. And he was 10 years older than her. And she was extremely women's lib, modern age. Health foods, yoga. Way before her time. And therefore I followed suit, of course. We had an 1.5 acre garden 90 fruit trees. Car when nobody had cars. You know, about in my primary school, almost nobody had a car. Not in those days. I was born 1947, you see. Well, I didn't see Mum really much until 1952. You know, coronation, somewhere around that time. I remember that was at home. I'd been at home for a year, I think, by then, I should think. Or so. And the floods. There were terrible flooding. The reclaimed land around Essex and East Anglia was badly hit by severe flooding in sort of winter, springtime of very early 50s, and you know, the cattle drowned, 1 or 2 people drowned as well, I suppose. And half of Canvey Island disappeared underwater for a while till they re-drained it, I suppose. Yeah, reclaimed land. Land had been reclaimed by Flemish Dutch settlers, Flemish weavers and so on. And they had the engineering skills that they fled from Europe continent way back in our history. Not sure. Something in the Reformation set up, you know. And they settled in Eastern England, East Anglia and so on. Reclaimed the land for us like they'd reclaimed Holland on a much greater scale, of course, in the end. Childhood. I'd like to go through it again and get it right, but I'd need the wisdom that I had at the other end of life to do it. Otherwise I get it just as right or wrong as I did then. So I wouldn't like to risk it again. I don't wish to come back. And God doesn't need me to come back, does he? I've found him. What have I found? Found that I love God. Whether he exists or not. That's what I came for. That's what I've got. I'm out of here. I finished the work with that. No, you haven't. Oh, okay. Oh. Don't get above yourself, mate. No, right, okay. Love you, Dad. Heavenly Dad. I love my dad now, too. I've told you again, haven't I, of this photo I found of him. Him and Mum together, and when they were first married. And he so obviously loves her, and he's so obviously full of happiness. You could not love him for it. Bless him. Thank you, Heavenly Dad, for my very strange parents. And a very strange life. It's great. Thank you for every detail of it, Lord. Dear one, Jesus' story is very simple. Your God loves you. You get that right? It's plain sailing from then on, love. No problem. No problem. And if you get a bit down on the way, perhaps you should listen to 1 or 2 of my crazy recordings. There's 4,000 of them a minute to choose from, so must be something in there got right. More than that. Bless you. And you are blessed. You're a child of God. And don't forget it. Thank you.